Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Julia, and today I'm using this lovely stamp from the Rabbithole Design. They have lots of caffeinated animals, and when I saw this fantastic unicorn, I went ahead and ordered a bunch, so there will be more projects with the Rabbithole Designs in the future. I'm using a stamping platform for this, but an acrylic block works just fine. The platform helps me to get a perfect image because I have the option of double stamping if the first one is bad. I'm stamping in Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to color with alcohol markers and I don't want the black lines to smudge. I'm using my Arteza markers and a few copic markers to color her with a color scheme I know the recipient of this card loves. Starting with her robe, I'm using 3 shades of purple, and as usual I start with the lightest shade to get the paper saturated, and then I use the medium shade to color in all the places where I want shade. I then go for the darkest and really fill in those shadows with a light hand. Then I use the lightest shade again to blend the colors together and give her some dimension. When I color in the actual unicorn, I want her to be white, but also have those shadows, making her more real. So I use the lightest shade of gray I have and go around the whole outline of the unicorn. I also use a light hand to darken the places around her eyes and eyelid, because this unicorn is tired. And then I use my colorless blender to blend that gray out. I have an unhealthy love for coffee. I just think it's such a lovely way to start your day, end your day, and sip on throughout the day. I love it. And my friends that are going to get this card share my love for coffee and then some. I'm coloring her luscious curls with 4 shades of blue and turquoise, and I do it in the same way as the other colors, lightest to dark and back again. Some people color successfully the other way around. They lay down the darkest shade first and finish with the lightest. I think you should color however you feel like. I just have my way to color, but that's a personal choice. I fill in her unicorn slippers and her mug and fill it with brown coffee. And last but not least, I fill in her horn and the horns on her slippers with a gold gel pen. But after reminding myself who this card is for, I will change that gold for silver off camera. I can't color a caffeinated unicorn without drawing some details that all have the theme coffee. I drew this stack of coffee mugs and used the same technique as before to color them in. I also drew some bags of coffee beans that will fill up my scene nicely and color them with a few shades of brown. And by the looks of it, my unicorn goes through a lot of coffee beans. Unfortunately, I did the whole background without enough space on my phone, so the background film is lost. I could just kick myself. But I did film the back piece, where I used the same Distress Oxide sprays as I used on the front piece. Weathered wood and peacock feathers. The parts that is missing is me cutting out a window and using texture paste to achieve those dimensional bricks. I wanted to look like the unicorn is in her castle. When both pieces are dry, I take out Distress Oxide inks in Hickory Smoke and Black Soot. I start with the grey Hickory Smoke and go around both pieces to darken the edges, and then I go for the Black Soot. You know I love some black edges to really frame my scene. After all that ink, I take some acetate, a clear thin plastic sheet. Mine is from packaging, but you can also buy acetate in sheets. I use double-sided tape to adhere the acetate, so I have a window right through my card. This unique unicorn stamp comes with 2 sentiments, and I will use them both on my card. Using my stamping platform, I stamp Caffeine Makes Me Sparkle and Magical AF and ink them up with VersaFine clear embossing ink. And then I cover the sentiments in white embossing powder and heat set it with my heat tool until the powder is shiny and melted. I think this white embossing really jumps out on the black cardstock. It's time to put the card together, and I also cut out a window in some fun foam, so when I glue the pieces together, I get a small pocket between the acetate windows where I can put some bling, pearls and sequins to contrast all that grey. And I also put in some sparkle, even if my unicorn doesn't seem to care. She just wants her coffee. I glue down my lovely unicorn in all her glory, and then the bags of coffee beans and the stack of coffee mugs. And then I take a grey big brush marker and go around the unicorn, the bags and the mugs to give them a little shadow that will make them seem like they belong there. I then glue down those sassy sentiments that I cut down to thin strips tips, and in the finished pictures I also added a frame around the window to cover up any glue that went astray. As a finishing touch, I have these metal corners that really give my card a finished look. Now this card is done, and I thank you all for watching and supporting me. I have so much more to give, so make sure to pop by soon again. Until the next time, goodbye for now.